What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another late night in the BrewLab with me, Lone Fox, your brewmaster-in-chief. And tonight in the BrewLab, it's my birthday. It's my birthday. I would like to play a little game with you guys just for fun. How old do you think I am? Let me know in the comments down below. Those of you who are friends with me on Facebook, no cheating. You're not allowed to take part. But it's my birthday. Nothing special. You know, the older you get, these things matter less and less. And of course, I'm in Kenya in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing much going on. But I did spend most of my birthday getting a PCR test. We went to the clinic, got our PCR tests. The wife and I are both COVID negative, so we are safe to fly. And Monday, we are jumping on a plane and going to Rome, where, you know, we have friends and, you know, back to the city, you know, that we both love. So I think we'll probably postpone the celebrations until then. But that is a long-winded way of saying that for sure. I know I've been saying this a lot, like, oh, I'm taking a break, and then I just keep bringing you fresh brews, but I just can't help myself. Like, it seems like sometimes I'm brewing in my dreams. I wake up with like 10 new brew ideas in my head, and I just can't help but bring it to you guys, because that's just what I love to do. So even though I keep saying I'm going to take a break, you know, this time I mean it. Tomorrow is packing day. We're going to be packing and stressing and getting ready, and then the following day is just all day on the road. We're leaving quite early in the morning for the airport, and then it's going to be flying and then landing in Rome and more bags, grumpy 2-year-old, jet lag, finding our apartment, everything. So for sure, maybe tomorrow, let's see how it goes. Like, if we can get all the packing out of the way early and I just can't help but jump on front of the camera in the night, I might bring you one more fresh brew. But otherwise, tomorrow and the next day for sure is going to be you know, a little break. So please bear with me while I get settled into my new place in Rome. And that's it as far as introductions and a little bit of news and announcements. And let's jump into tonight's brew without any further ado. We're looking at Obscura vehicles. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. I could have called it Esper vehicles, but the Obscura are coming. And what got me started down this track, if you can't tell from the deck box already, is this Greasefang. And I did mention it in a few streams back that I was going to build a deck around Greasefang, and the obvious idea was to do what everybody else has been doing with it, in standard at least. You know, the cycle with somehow you discard your Asika's Chariot into the yard, and then you just keep bringing it back with the Okiba, and you know, with Greasefang, and then every time at ETBs you make more cats and blah 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 blah. That's Abzan, right? White, black, and green. We're not going to be playing much Abzan starting the 28th. Like, it's going to be all about the new 3-color cards and the 3-color lands and 3-color decks that and Abzan is just not one of them. So I was like, let's start to get a little forward thinking and see what Obscura is going to look like as far as vehicles, because we're also getting a lot of cool new vehicles in Streets of New Capenna. So please stick around to the end of the video. I'm going to discuss in the final thoughts segment what it is that we might be able to put into this deck from Streets of New Capenna that is going to take it to the next level. But for now, we're playing with what we've got. Let me do the usual. Take it from the top. Describe the deck for you from left to right. Why it is that I picked the cards. How it is that they synergize with the other cards in the deck. What some of the various play lines and interactions you might come across. And then we'll jump into some gameplay footage on the Mythic Ladder and hopefully illustrate as many of those playlines and interactions for you, so you get to see the deck do its thing in its entirety. That's always my goal for these videos, is to, you know, if I don't win every time, at least to really get to show you everything that the deck can do. And yeah, then we'll jump back in at the end with my final thoughts, overall deck review, and potential upgrades with the new Streets of New Capenna cards. So, we start off with a full playset of the Hotshot Mechanic, which is a great little pilot. Cruise vehicles as though we're power 2 or greater, and you can start swinging in for 2 damage, even if you don't have a vehicle to cruise straight away, which is great as a little aggressive 1-drop. And yeah, the problem with running these vehicles decks in either, like, let's say, Azorius or, you know, Izzet even, especially in Izzet, there's no 1-drops that I can think of that you would want to run in a deck like that, that is vehicle-centered. And Azorius only really has the Hotshot Mechanic. Here we get to run Okiba Reckoner Raid because we have black in the deck, and it's a fantastic card for a Vehiclez deck because once it eventually flips into the Road Captain, it gives all of your vehicles menace, which is great. And the first 2 chapters, a little bit of gain and drain, never hurt nobody. Then we're starting off with our 2 drops with a full playset of the Mobilizer Mech, which is probably like... I mean, this is an incredible vehicle, guys. I don't know why more people are not playing this thing. I hardly ever see it on the ladder. Whenever Mobilizer Mech becomes crewed, up to 1 other target vehicle you control becomes an artifact creature until the end of turn. So you basically can crew 2 vehicles for the price of 1. Amazing! And it's got flying, and it's a 3/4, so nice chunky booty. It's a little bit tougher to remove. Absolutely just an all-round amazing card, which I'm loving. And so we've gone with a full playset of this guy, and it's going to help us in those situations where we're running a bit low on things to crew our vehicles with because our opponent's either hitting us with lots of sweepers or removal or whatever. Then all you need is just like 1 of these pilots, and you can crew up a Mobilizer Mech, and that'll crew up 1 of your other vehicles as well for free. Just amazing stuff. Then we're playing Esper, right? Or Obscura. We've got blue in the deck, so why not play some counter magic? And this is the perfect one for a deck that is so filled with artifacts, because it's your typical counter spell, just counter target spell, any spell, no ups, no downs, no creature only, no non-creature only, whatever. It's just counter target spell, which is usually a 3 mana effect, like, you know, your Sword Cummings, your Dissipates, there's plenty of them right now. But because you can tap an untapped artifact you control instead of paying the additional 3rd mana, you can counter target spell for 2 more often than not in this deck, because we've got plenty of artifacts that we can tap to pay that additional cost. The main issue here is that it's 2 blue pips, and it's a 3-color deck, and we don't yet have the tri-lands, so sometimes we don't have the mana to do it straight away, but that's okay. It's been worth its weight in gold in the deck, and I hope to prove that to you. Then we've got a couple copies of Mechtitan Core as an alternate win con. We didn't want to go like full Mechtitan Core bonkers. It's just there. Maybe we get to assemble the Mechtitan and win the game that way, which is always spectacular and fun. But and of course the cost of doing this, which is 5, can be reduced to 3 if you have Tezzeret, the Betrayer of Flesh, on the battlefield that has a static ability that says the first activated ability of an artifact you activate each turn costs 2 less to activate. Otherwise, if we never get to assemble it, all good. Just having a 2/4 that you can crew for 2 is actually pretty nice as well, as a nice blocker or what have you. Then we've gone for a full playset of the Reckoner Bankbuster, of course, drawing us cards, ramping us, and eventually pooping out a pilot that it can crew itself with, or you can crew one of your other vehicles with, is just fantastic. So nice little aggressive 2-drop, which you can crew with your Hotshot Mechanic and just start swinging in for 4 before your opponent even has a chance to set up anything serious. Then I've gone with 2 copies of Born to Drive, which is great, because we needed more pilots. As many ways as possible of crewing all of these vehicles that we have, right? So we can channel it for 3 and make two colorless pilot creature tokens that are the same as the one the Bankbuster here poops out, and it has the same text on it as the Hotshot Mechanic, so they can crew as though it had 2 more power than they have, as if their power were 2 greater. But it can also be cast as an enchantment aura, which is not bad in some situations, like especially if you put it on, like, let's say your Mobilizer Mech, which has flying, and as long as the enchanted permanent is a creature, so, you know, while it's a vehicle, it's going to be not getting any buffs, but then as soon as you crew it up, it becomes a creature. It gets +1/+1 for each creature and or vehicle you control. So this can get a huge buff from just having some, a couple of other creatures and vehicles in play, which is great on a flyer. So very versatile, very nice. I kind of wish I could find a way to squeeze in a 4th copy, or 3rd copy. We might even cut one of these. Let's see how the gameplay goes. As usual, we'll make some adjustments on the fly. All of those adjustments will be reflected in the deck list that you can find in the video description down below for you guys to copy and enjoy. Then we've got kind of the main card of the deck, but not really, because we're not specifically trying to activate the Greasefang like in the Abzan version, where we're like finding ways to discard things into our graveyard so that we can bring them back with Greasefang. This is just incidental. Like, it's a great pilot because it's got 4 power. So you can crew your Surgehacker Mech without needing to do any weird shenanigans with these creatures that crew things as though they had more power. It just can crew it, period. And then if the opponent does get rid of one of your vehicles, then we can start bringing them back from the graveyard. And of course, the best loop with that is the Surgehacker Mech, because when it enters the battlefield, it deals damage equal to twice the number of vehicles you control to a target creature or planeswalker. Planeswalker, important. So, you know, even if you just have, let's say, a Bankbuster, and then you cast this, that's 4 damage to creature or planeswalker. Great. So it's another removal spell on top of our closing statement, which we're about to get to. But then if it does get killed, then the Greasefang brings it back to the battlefield. It gains haste, so you might be able to attack with it straight away. You'll get the ETB trigger again, then it'll go back to your hand. And then often, the following turn, you can just cast it again and do, you know, get more damage out of it. So really, really nice little synergies between Greasefang and the Surgehacker Mech. But also just being able to bring back any of our vehicles is pretty nice, just as a way of reanimating them. You know, you can bring your Bankbusters back, swing in that turn with them, then they end up back in your hand. Now you've got a fresh Bankbuster, you can start drawing cards again or what have you. Just fantastic, fantastic. Then, couple copies of Tezzeret, Betrayer of Flesh. Again, wish I could go with a third one, but 2's been okay. Don't want to end up with too many in your opening hand, especially because it's got this 2 blue pips before we get access to the Obscura Triland. But it's great in these decks, obviously, right? I mean, card draw on the first +1, kind of doing the same thing as the Mobilizer Mech does every time it's crewed up, but just permanently. It makes one of your artifacts become an artifact creature. So just fantastic way of permanently crewing a vehicle. And then the emblem, guys, if you have the chance to get the emblem off, which will, you just need to plus twice and then minus, but then Tezzeret leaves the battlefield because you'll have arrived at 6 and then you -6, the planeswalker is gone, but you get the emblem. So the tendency is to try and get it to 7, so then when you -6, the Tezzeret's still on the battlefield and you get to keep using it. But if there's any risk that you might not get to do that because your opponent might come at you with a flyer or whatever the hell the case might be, they might have removal, just go for the emblem straight away. Who cares if you lose the static ability and the other +1 and the -2? They're good, but they're not that good. But the emblem is really good. In a deck filled with artifacts, every time you tap an artifact, you draw a card. Amazing card advantage that the opponent just can never recover from if you ever get to go off. Please trust me when I say it's what you should be doing with this Planeswalker. Which brings us to our hard removal. The initial version of the deck had a full playset of Hero's Downfall, and I do have to thank my Patreon, who I did a little bit of playtesting with today, and collaborative brewing with today, for suggesting this. Because the same problem with the Disruption Protocol, it has 2 black pips, and we've got this really wonky mana base that we have to deal with until we get the Tri-lands. It was increasingly difficult to cast Hero's Downfall when it was needed. This does cost a little bit more, but it will eventually, if you cast it during your end step, it'll cost the same as Hero's Downfall, and it also does creatures or planeswalkers like Hero's Downfall. It is also instant speed like Hero's Downfall, but you get this added upside that you get to put a +1/+1 creature on a target creature you control, a +1/+1 counter on a target creature you control. So let's test it out. I quite like the idea, so thank you, Lobo, for bringing it up. I think it's probably going to be good. I haven't tested it much. I played like 3 games. The last game I just played with this deck with this in it was just amazing. I got such a fantastic victory. So it's been doing the thing so far. Let's see if it ends up being a little bit too expensive. We might need to get rid of stuff at instant speed before our end step, and 5 mana might make it a little bit prohibitive, but we'll have to see. Which brings us to the mana base, which is incredibly wonky, like I've said. I think once we get the Tri-lands, like this dilemma that I always have, where like, do I put 2, 1 of the duels and 3 pathways, or do I go for a 2 and 2 split, or do I, because I want to also have 1 of each basic land, so that if I get hit by an opponent's Field of Ruin, I have something to actually go fetch. I also like to run 1 of each of the creature lands because they're great, and all of these things. I wonder if having a tri-land, like how the new configuration will look. And I can't wait to try it out. Basically, I think we'll end up like with, basically, we'll cut out the pathways maybe. I don't know. Well, day one of the new set, that's going to be the first thing we're going to be looking at. Because, like, the first thing anybody should be crafting is the tri-lands anyway. It's the best thing always to craft is the rare lands from a set. Because they end up being relevant in every deck that you build for the rest of the season. And, you know, they're going to stick around for a long time, those tri-lands. They're going to be here until the next rotation. So, anywho. The last interesting land to talk about in the deck is the Mech Hangar, which is another way of crewing our vehicles when we don't have pilots. You can pay 3 colorless, tap it, and target vehicle becomes an artifact creature until end of turn. So really great. You get hit by a sweeper, so like your Hotshot Mechanic, your Nezumi, you know, the little pilots that you've been able to make, or your Greasefang have all just disappeared, and you're like, you're left with all these vehicles. And you need a way to crew them. So we've got Tezzeret's -2 and the Mech Hangar. And sometimes that wins games. It's really, really fun. Just to be able to, out of nowhere, crew up a Surgehacker Mech and swing in for 5 and win the game after a sweeper is just mwah. Alright, that's the deck. Let's jump into some games. Obscura Vehiclez. Sharoom. 90%. Nope. Much better. Okay, another one of these guys. Just always surprised when you bump into this sort of stuff in Mythic. Like, 83 land deck? Sure. And make some pilots next turn and start swinging. Keep up the pressure. Pump it up. Keep up the pressure. Just getting birthday wishes non-stop. What could you have foretold there? In these colors. Oh, yay. Such a feel-bad card. Let's get another blue source, please. That's nice. That's very nice. What is he got foretold there? It's probably that discard, like skull something. Boseiju, he's gonna kill my Bankbuster. Nah. Oof, tough one. Okay, let's play the Nezumi. I think just draw a card. Maybe draw another blue source. Ooh, that's nice. That's very nice. Little 1/1s, putting in some work. Boom, boom. Sharoon. Okay. Oh, these weird pile of stuff going on here. I wonder. Makes a treasure token, huh? Still no second blue source. It's a problem with these. Okay, so. Sure. Badoosh. Removal for sure. Alright. Okay, so it was a poison the cup all along. Now the Greasefang, right? So we've got the vehicle in the yard. Greasefang. Gonna be great. We can't crew the Surgehacker Mech with 3 power. It needs 4. Oh wow. Alright. Hello Loth. There's the blue land. Very nice. And we can crew the mech. Another very epic subscriber and our friend. Subscriber become friend. Saying hello. I think you're gonna like this one. I know Fabio's into his vehicles big time. Hey, going for the draw. I'm sure he's digging for a sweeper here. But that's gonna be fine, because we've got the Mech Hangar. I think it's game. Unless you've got some crazy life gain shenanigans. That won't do it. I have no idea what this guy was trying to do here, but that's what you get for playing an 80 card pile, bro. Brosif.
I have no reservations about cutting down my opposition.
Okay, I'm gonna hope to get a Greasefang and an artifact. Damn it. Okay. We get a free crew on the Surgehacker Mech. And we go swinging for the win. Could still have Boseiju. Double block on the 5. Still get 3, 4, 5, 6. That's also cool.
Do what I demand. I will get what I want.
This thing comes to battlefield but tapped for 3. Sure. How can we deal with this now? To actually get through for that final bit of damage. Go for the Tezzeret, come on. We just plus the Tezzeret straight away and hope to get something really nice, like removal.
Subservience will be rewarded.
Progress is power.
Where's Greasefang, man? Wow, just nothing, eh? Everything has menace. Game over. Unless you have something else up your sleeves. Sure. Still game over. Ew. Game 1 victory against the 80 card pile. It's always fun. And setting the mood for the night. Also a nice little birthday present. Very happy with that. Didn't get the Greasefang though. Let's try and get a Greasefang going. Also not a single copy of our solitary removal spell, which I'm playtesting big time. I want to see how good it is. Chaotic neutral. Oof, with Tamio thingy-majig. There's a Greasefang, but the lands are just terrible with these two. We have to mulligan this. Not much better at all, I'm afraid. But we'll keep it, because we're silly. There's our second blue source for the protocol. Esper stuff happening here too. Hey, nice. Hold up the protocol. Pass the turn. Sorry, mate. I don't want you drawing no cards. Is that a Doomscar or what? Maybe it's just a counter spell, huh? Hold up mana to draw a card. Maybe it's scry 2, draw 2, whatever. Nice. There's the Okiba. Oh, there's something there. I'm scared to cast this. Let's go with the Hotshot and hold up mana for the card draw. Aha! Alright. Oh, not again, man. We just had to suffer through a... this Planeswalker. Cannot wait for it to bugger off. Unfortunately, it is going to leave with rotation, so that's pretty nice. Badoosh.
A pity our time is over.
Hee hee hee. Looking good, actually. Looking kind of good. He's going to probably hold back one spider to block the flyer. Okay, double spiders. Nothing. This is legendary. Does that mean we can cast this? Yeah, it does appear so. Why is that? One less to cast for each legendary creature you control. We have one legendary. It's 3, 4, down to 3. Oh, because we got the treasure. Haha! Epic. Probably could have done that before, but yeah. Let's save this Mobilizer Mech. He might have a another Deadly Dispute or something. No. Could have just brought it back with the Greasefang, which is fine too, but some kind of sweeper. That's I'm actually okay with this. I was hoping for this. Then we get to show off the crew ability of things without any without any pilots. We're gonna use, in this case, our friend here. And you say maybe you should just... But it's 8 instead of 7, so... Badoosh badoosh. Need it and 4 other, so... We need one more vehicle, one more artifact, and we can do the Mechtitan. Oh, that's enough lands now. Thank you very much. Seems like he's got some removal. Yeah. Another poison the cup. So let's crew up He did it at the wrong time. Because now I still get to attack. Now we can just swing with the hole next turn if we wanted to. It's enough land now, thank you.
Out of my way. I have a witness. You deal.
Perfect. Just perfect. Honestly, that's just amazing. The menace is going to be just perfect.
Me. We're all doomed. You fight for me now.
That's even... Oh, God, it's just amazing. What? Oh, no, it didn't get crude. So silly. Oh. That should have read that card a bit better. It needs to be crude. It can't just turn into a vehicle. Something to take note of. Okay, he's going to use the dispute. -1 plus the... Oh. Wait, that still won't do it, will it? That still won't do it, dude. Sorry to tell you. Well, let's just make it so that your guy doesn't die. Ah, that's nice. Cheeky, cheeky, cheeky. No problem. Starting to get a little bit scary here. What? What is going on here? Yeah, we want the menace. And we can hold back the Mechtitan for some blockage. And we got counter magic. It's gonna get probably something out of this Felidar. No? Oh. Oh ho ho. I think that's game. That's game. I think. No. Makes the 2/2. No. Desperate last attempt. Good game. Woo! Got him. Very strange Esper deck there, like mid-range pile with some weird stuff. People are testing some crazy stuff now as the season draws to a close. I was complaining just as I hit Mythic about like, oh, it's just mono white, and then like, actually just some like weird, interesting, janky stuff going on as the, just before the new set comes, which I'm so behind. But a nice second victory, undefeated so far. How are we doing for time? Okay, guys, I'm gonna have to call it a night. We didn't get to see the Greasefang do much. We didn't get the emblem of the Tezzeret to go off, but we managed to cast a closing statement there at the end, which is quite nice. Overall, I'm really happy with the deck. I hope you guys agree that it's looks like something that actually has a bit of oomph to it. And as far as potential upgrades, I'm just going to quickly prepare the back here so that you guys can see what I'm talking about before I actually switch the camera to focus where I want it to focus. Anyway, the card I'm talking about is MTG. Boop. The Mysterious Limousine is the one. So whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, exile up to one other target creature until it leaves the battlefield. So you can either, it doesn't say you control or opponent controls, it can be any creature. So you can either exile one of their tokens and then it's gone, won't be coming back. Or you can exile one of your things that has an ETB trigger. So you can, let's say, crew. This is one of my favorite examples. You like crew it, and it's going to change the way this deck looks in its entirety. But I still think it's going to be nice to play it in Esper, because there's a lot of nice ETB trigger stuff. And my favorite one that I can think of here on my 2 feet is Elite Spellbinder. So you crew the vehicle with Elite Spellbinder, because it's only got a crew cost of 2. So you can swing in for 4, and your Elite Spellbinder gets exiled. And it's basically, it's like entering the limousine. And then the next turn, you attack again. You crew it with your other Spellbinder. And they just keep, one of them crews it and gets exiled. It poops out the other one, you get the ETB trigger, you remove something from the opponent's hand. Then the following turn, you can crew it with the one that got, pooped out the previous turn. And you just, you can cycle your Elite Spellbinders, and every turn they disappear, so they can't be removed. The limousine stays down. I don't know, I think that's just a really nice little loop that we're going to test out straight away on day 1. Then, as far as other vehicles that I wanted to touch upon, let's just go find them over here. Boop. It'll be tough for me to like scroll through these quickly and spot it, but I'm getting pretty good at doing this. Spend so much time scrolling through cards, my like visual recognition skills are starting to get pretty good. We'll definitely be putting like 1 or 2 copies of these guys in whichever color deck we play, so that it also again helps smooth out those lands. So we can play a bit more basics than usual and just be able to tutor them up. Where's the colorless stuff? Well, this thing, but that's not good. That's really not that good. Mysterious Limousine, there it is. Where's the other one? It's the Getaway Car. It's a colorless. Ooh, this one looks good, but that's again in a different deck. We're not playing green. in this Obscura version. These are the multicolor ones. Oh, here. Unlicensed hearse and getaway car. These two are going to be sweet. Okay, so the unlicensed hearse enters the battlefield, exile up to 2 target cards from a single graveyard. So automatic graveyard haste, and then it gains its power and toughness are each equal to the number of cards exiled with it. So you can exile stuff straight away because it doesn't have summoning sickness because it's an artifact. And then it's got a really cheap crew cost of 2. This is going to be fitting right into this Greasefang deck we just played, in my opinion. Like, fantastic. You'll be able to bring it back if the opponent removes it every time you're exiling stuff from the graveyard. So graveyard hate, and then it gets bigger and bigger the more you hate on the yard. I think that's really good. If you couple it with like some hand hate, so you get your opponent to discard a bunch of stuff, or like just the type of decks that they're, you know, playing a lot of spells every turn, and they've got stuff ending up in the yard anyway. It's just fantastic. One of the better vehicles to come out of the new set, in my opinion. Keep your eyes peeled on an unlicensed hearse, and then getaway car as well. I mean, definitely not something to scoff at. And I like it how it's all like these cool ass cars. We got the limousine, this hearse, and then this getaway car looks amazing as well. Has haste. It's a 4/3. It's got crew 1, so you can play it for 3, swing in for 4 straight away, and just crew it with like anything. And when it attack or blocks, return up to 1 target creature that crewed it this turn to its owner's hand. So again, maybe finding a way to like find a creature with a nice like ETB trigger that's a 1-drop. I still can't think of what that might be. I'm thinking even just like something as simple as the Iron Apprentice in the deck that's going to be wanting to run your Patchwork Automatons. So you get to recast the Iron Apprentice and re-trigger your Patchwork Automaton and still like be able to crew the getaway car with it or something like that. I've, you know, just starting with some basic ideas here, but I'm just frothing to get in the lab and start crafting with these with this set, guys. Anyway, you've heard me say it too many times, and now I'm starting to ramble. So that's going to be it for tonight's video. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to guess my age in the comments down below, and of course to like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you all either tomorrow or on the 27th, and until then, this is Lone Fox from the BrewLab, signing out. Peace, y'all.